Tonight's stories.
I don't need you.
Little farm stand.
I'm cutting contact.
The choice.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Comfort Level Podcast. I'm Maddie, and I'm here with
Brando.
Sam.
SJ.
and SJ and Sam are back in a room together.
Yeah.
So you weren't here, but we discussed that there was a period within the last, month that, Sam was gone and it was weird. It was some weird energy.
Yeah.
And then, you were here for a week and now you were gone again.
I was gone again.
So we just wanted to clear the air.
Yeah.
Everything's cool between you two, right? Like there's
we're
no
fine.
issues.
We're in a stable place, I think, right now, Sam.
Oh,
Right?
stable? That's what I wanted to hear.
Right?
Because you haven't spoken to me outside of the podcast since that day where you guys mercilessly said how old I was and went in on me.
Well, honestly, we said that to your face, so we didn't really need to talk to you about it.
It's not been the same since.
Didn't we just talk about that tuna sandwich?
We did talk about the tuna sandwich.
So,
but I think tuna trumps. That's not even a real conversation.
It was real to me.
No, tuna's like life. Like
it wasn't real to you. Is that what you're saying?
It's real to me. I don't want to say that.
So why didn't you bring it up? So, and you see, I really try, and you just want to.
Oh, what were you
honestly,
feeling when
I
you
forgot
said
about the tuna.
Disrespected.
I did forget about the tuna, and that's on me. I forgot about the tuna.
So
you remember everything bad. That's what you're saying.
So are you upset or are you not upset, Sam? Are you happy to see SJ?
I'm always happy to see SJ. I want her to be happy to see me as
I was happy to see you.
Oh yeah, because when I got that message about the tuna, about you getting the tuna, that my heart lit up.
Like I thought that was a bonding.
It was a bonding for me. I did light up, and I did forget about it. But you didn't. Yeah. I did forget about it immediately after.
So was it really? And so where do me and Sam stand?
Honestly, better than 2 minutes ago, or worse than 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Worse somehow.
It was better earlier.
We're back to how.
Well, I can say
we went from stable to rocky just like that.
I only have one person sitting on my desk right now. A picture of them on my desk right now.
And just like that, he's back.
We're back.
There's only one, and it's not these two knuckleheads. I'll tell you that right now.
We're so back. So we're in a great spot, actually.
That's really good to hear.
Yeah.
That's really good to hear.
I always could be so happy to see Sam. That's what I'm saying, Husker. I think Husker can attest to just the power of friendship, right?
Yeah.
Nothing can beat that.
Yeah.
So what you guys just witnessed today is what me and Brandon go through constantly. It's just peaks and valleys with their Sam and Sadia's relationship.
Yeah. But we recover quickly.
We always recover.
It's a quick recovery. I mean, it might be
a quick back to the valley.
Yeah.
The peak
valley,
is.
We know it's going to come. The valley is going to come again because
we're
that's
coming
just how
back.
we are.
Just hit the like and subscribe. Just for that. Me and Sam had an interaction a couple of days ago, and I got the best old joke out of it.
Wait, what?
When we were at the park, and you sat down, but there was no seats. There was no seats. I was sitting down. I got done eating. Sam was standing up eating, and I was like, "Oh, here, take my seat. I'm done eating." And he sits down. He's like, "Thanks, cuz." And I was like, "Respect your elders."
How did that make you feel, Sam?
Because first I was very touched because I was like, damn, I'm going to eat standing up. So I was so happy.
Yeah.
But for him to completely switch it so quickly. And there was people around kind of like, his mom and dad were right there. I'm like, because I wanted to hit him.
He did follow his pistol. Like,
I'm like, I want to swing on this dude right now. I did almost swing
Your
on
own
you.
cousin?
On my own cousin.
Wow.
Because you should have heard the way he said it. He's like, respect your elder. I'm like,
why are y'all?
Well, I think you guys should stop talking, cut contact like this first story.
This first story.
yeah.
Don't stop the party.
That is a good song. I'm actually going to play that.
Am I the asshole for cutting all contact with my family because of a prank? And then there's updates. You guys are family.
Yeah.
You guys do pranks on each other.
We do.
Would you ever go so far to prank your cousin in a way that you think they would cut you off.
That's crazy.
Nothing about that makes it worth it.
Yeah, because like those prank couples that are like getting divorces and stuff from the pranks, I think they should get divorces. I do think there are pranks you can go too far.
Mm-hmm. Am I the asshole for cutting all contact with my family because of a prank? So I posted a story on here before and I got some pretty good advice, so please help. Here's what happened. I, 27 female, have always had a complicated relationship with my family. They've always been the type of people who think any joke is fine as long as someone laughs, no matter who gets hurt. Over the years, I've tried to brush it off and not let it bother me too much, but this time they crossed a line that I can't ignore. Recently, I achieved something big in my life. I bought my first home after saving for years. It's something I worked incredibly hard for, sacrificing vacations, nights out, and basically anything extra to make it happen. And excited to finally have a place to call my own. Naturally, I wanted to share this milestone with my family, even though our relationship has always been rocky. A few weeks ago, we had a family dinner to celebrate my new home. Everything seemed fine at first. They congratulated me, asked about the house, and seemed genuinely happy for me. But halfway through the night, my brother, 30 male, and sister, 25 female, handed me an envelope. They said it was a surprise to help with the house. I opened it, and inside is what looked like a legal notice stating that my house purchase had been canceled because of a clerical error, and that it was now being sold to someone else.
Wow.
It even had an official-looking letterhead, my name, and details about the house. I was in complete shock. Everyone around the table started laughing, and my brother yelled, "Gotcha!" Turns out they had faked the letter and thought it would be hilarious to see my reaction. I burst into tears, which only made them laugh harder. They even recorded the whole thing on their phones to post on social media. When I finally managed to speak, I told them how cruel this was. Buying this house was the biggest thing I ever done, and they turned it into a joke at my expense. Their response, "You're so sensitive. It was a prank. Lighten up." I left dinner early, completely heartbroken. A few days later, I decided I'd had enough. This wasn't the first time they pulled a prank like this. Over the years, they humiliated me countless times. Once ruining a job interview outfit by accidentally spilling coffee on it. Another time pretending to lose my dog just to see me panic. I cut off contact. I didn't make a scene. I just stopped responding to messages. I blocked them on social media, and I declined invites to family events. Now I'm getting guilt-tripping messages from extended family saying I'm being selfish and tearing the family apart. My mom even left me a voicemail crying about how much she misses me and is begging me to come back. But I can't bring myself to forgive them. This prank just felt like the final straw, and I don't see how I can trust them again. So Reddit, am I the asshole for cutting off my family over this prank? I would hate to be tortured by my siblings like that.
Yeah, the tortures.
And it's been an ongoing thing.
Like her whole life, apparently.
Yeah.
It's a terrible life. Yeah, I don't think you're the asshole for cutting off if you want to keep your peace and you don't know where the next prank's coming from. Because I definitely feel it's like probably the prolonged nature of it that's building up.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the prank is actually, I've heard worse pranks than that. Even though putting it on social media,
that part's crazy.
Let this be in our family. Like a joke with your family. Why you got to bring other people? I feel like they're definitely cruel if they're doing it at your expense. You're crying in the videos like, see how sister's crying? So no, I don't think you're the asshole for getting away from this. This is not your bag. Sucks that your family and they don't realize that maybe I'm just not the person to be in it. You should be able to say that and they can take you out of it.
Yeah.
They don't have to prank you. They can prank the ones who want to be pranked or like pranking.
Or like just expressing like, hey, I didn't really like that. That made me feel a certain type of way. Yeah. And then like breaking down and crying in front of them and they laugh harder.
Right.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's a lot of things where it's like,
it's a terrible family.
Does your family not have a heart at all? Like your siblings?
It's the hiding the dog to make him think that he went missing to just
cause panic.
Yeah.
You're evil.
That's kind of like
that's evil.
That's messed up.
And then just the sabotaging of the interview outfit that she said before in the past.
Oh, yeah.
That job interview and they spilled coffee on her.
That's just messed up.
Like, so that's not a prank.
That's not a prank, dude.
That's literal.
Because a prank is like...
Yeah, you're actually doing it.
A prank is like, okay, you had an extra 30 minutes. I'm so sorry I tricked you. Here's the same exact shirt, same exact size. It's already like... Just put it on. I was just joking. Like, there's no joke in the fact that you spilled coffee on somebody.
Right.
You're horrible at pranks then.
Yeah.
As the two prank connoisseurs, where do you think...
I don't want to be connoisseur of that.
Connoisseurs. Where do you think OP's siblings went wrong? Because you say you don't think it's that bad. So is there a prank that they could have done in this similar vein with the house with the that could have been fun?
No,
or
not for OP, no. Not in the history, given the whole context of it. If this was like the first prank they've ever done, I think it's fine, except the social media part. I think it's fine, like, because it's easier, like a letter that, oh, look, you almost got you, and then immediately they tell you it's not.
Yeah, as long as they're not letting it run on for forever.
Yeah. But I think it changes because of the history of the pranks. It's different. There's a different vibe with it. There's no prank you can do that's fine.
Or at least like putting something like, oh, we got you in the message too. So it's like once they're like finished reading, if they make it like all the way down to the bottom, it's like, oh, this is all just a prank or something. Just before saying like
something like that.
Yeah, before saying, oh, this is clearly a prank. But then after that, after the reaction, I don't understand how they were still laughing after the reaction of tears.
Yeah.
If it's a prank, it should be for everybody to laugh. Like,
and not just at the expense of one person.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't really like pranks at all, but I don't really like this prank. I do think in general it's just really mean. But I feel like if you were to be like, to do this prank and OP's family didn't have a history of doing pranks.
Yeah.
I feel like the only way to make it right after kind of making them the butt of a joke is when they're like, we have a little gift for you to help with the house. It's like money afterwards. Like, we're going to give you money, but we thought you'd do something first. Yeah. Where at the end of the day, they are like, they have like a good experience with the prank at the end. Yeah. And I feel like in general, so not
like
even with
ladder,
all the stuff added on.
Yeah. You have the ladder and you have like a $500 gift card to Home Depot or something to go with it. And you're like, hey, yeah.
Because, otherwise this is just cruel and unusual punishment.
Yeah.
From your siblings.
Yeah.
So, I don't think there's anything wrong with not having any more contact.
Yeah. And for me and Brandon, we're agreeing to this.
Yeah. Right.
I think if one of us was like, you know what, I'm out, like, we'll stop.
Mm-hmm.
And it is what it is. Like, it's like, there would be no need to make someone feel bad for not wanting to do that anymore either.
It'll probably happen to me. I'll probably give him the hat one more time, and then I'm like, I don't think this is good anymore. I actually don't think.
And that's when I'm overriding. I'm like, forget the rule we just talked about.
And I'm like, and I start crying, and I'm like,
no take backsies. For real this time.
I'm not joking.
He's like, I tried to give up this hat 2 years ago. I don't want to see it back in my house. Okay, so top comment. You're rightfully upset because it wasn't a prank. It was bullying. It was just a joke. BS is something every bully does to justify humiliating people. They thought it would be fun to upset you on your big night and then take videos of it and post it on social media. And your mother is crying that she misses you. No, she had an opportunity there to rip them a new one about their behavior and about treating you with kindness and respect, and she thought it would be better to go along with the prank. You deserve better than this. I'm glad you finally decided to call an end for their bullying. Don't let them or any extended family members pressure you into doing anything you don't want to do. Update from 5 days later. After I went no contact with my family, I thought they'd eventually accept my decision and move on, but that hasn't been the case. For the past few weeks, my brother and sister have been trying to get me to see the funny side of their prank. They've shown up at my house uninvited multiple times, banging on my door and demanding to talk to me. At first, I ignored them, but it became clear they weren't going to stop. One evening, I caught them standing outside my house with their phones on, recording themselves while yelling things like, "She can't take a joke," and "Let's see how long she can hide." It felt more like harassment. I know.
What the heck is going on?
Weird.
It felt more like harassment than an attempt to reconcile. The final straw came when I discovered my car had been egged overnight and my security camera caught my brother and sister doing it.
That's insane.
Yeah. I confronted them through text, telling them they crossed a line and needed to stop. Their response, "You're so dramatic. You're going to laugh about this one day."
Egging my car?
At this point, I realized I couldn't just handle this on my own. I went to the police and I filed a report for harassment.
Yeah.
They took my statement, reviewed the footage from my security camera, and agreed. Husker, just wait until I'm done saying the sentence before you have something to say.
He said, hell no. I'll say it right now.
They took my statement, reviewed the footage from my security camera, and agreed that this behavior was unacceptable. My siblings were contacted and warned to stay away from me. Their reaction? More mocking messages, calling me a snitch, and accusing me of tearing the family apart.
Oh,
this family is
messages?
It's a gang, dude. They're in the mob.
Some of my extended family members are siding with them, saying I should have just talked it out instead of involving the police. But others, especially those who have seen the footage, are horrified and fully support my decision. I feel a mix of relief and sadness. It's hard to accept that my own family could treat me like this, but I also feel safer knowing that I've taken steps to protect myself. I'm focusing on building a new life in my home and surround myself with people who respect and support me. To anyone who's out there struggling with toxic family dynamics, you're not alone, and it's okay to set boundaries to protect your peace. Thank you for giving me the strength to stand up for myself. And then there's an update from 3 months later.
How are they still messaging her if she blocked them?
Somehow they are.
Yeah, because that's what's even crazier to me. The fact that they're still messaging her after she blocked them.
I think this just kind of shows how emotionally immature I think the other people in the family are, because to see someone like, let's just say like you're honestly like, okay, yeah, this is a prank, like this is all supposed to be a joke. To see someone who obviously isn't laughing, who isn't having a good time, who this is literally causing them distress, for you to see them have an adverse reaction, whether it be crying, shutting down, like to the point where she's literally like, don't talk to me anymore, for you guys to keep going and just like keep taking it to that next level. Clearly she doesn't like it. I mean, bare minimum, you guys can see that she doesn't like it. And then you guys are just like, they say, what do they say? You know,
you're a snitch.
Yeah, you're a snitch.
You egged my car.
You're dragging it out. And I'm just like, dude.
See the funny side.
See the funny side. And I'm literally in distress. I mean,
yelling outside her house, she can't take a joke. Let's see how long she can hide. Obviously, if you're giving no reaction, okay, let's say you haven't read the signs up until this point. You go to your sister's house and she's literally ignoring you. How is there not a point of like realization where you're like, okay, she doesn't want any parts of this? But obviously, I think it's way too far for them to be like, there's something wrong with them.
I think the problem is because it's two of them. So they can always look at each other and like, we're the right ones.
Yeah, this is fine, right?
If it's just you by yourself and you're like, dang, I'm being met with nothing. You don't have a person on the side validating everything you're doing. They're probably like, she's acting so crazy. We should egg her car, right? That's a good idea to get on it. And they're like, yeah, that's a good idea.
That's a good point. It probably wasn't helping with the parents probably not doing anything either.
No one's saying anything against them.
Everybody's just enabling their behavior.
And I probably think a lot of the family probably doesn't even like the pranks, but they're just like,
just go with it.
We're just going to go with it. And one person's actually like, no, I'm done. And they're like, I'm kind of jealous of you actually standing up for yourself. But for me, I don't think it's worth it for me to actually stand with you or anything. Even the mom, which that sucks.
Yeah.
Someone eggs my car. My family eggs my car. I am probably calling the cops.
Yeah.
Like if they keep harassing me and they egg my car.
Worthy.
Yeah. I'm fighting first. I'm coming out and fighting.
So final edit, I think. I know I haven't updated in a while because it's been 3 months. And honestly, it's because dealing with all this has been exhausting. Even after filing the police report, my brother and sister wouldn't let up. I wanted to believe they'd eventually get bored and move on, but instead they doubled down. The mocking messages didn't stop. They even bragged about their warning they received, treating it like a joke. My extended family was split.
Ow.
Some still told me I was overreacting, while others admitted they were disturbed by my siblings' behavior. Then things escalated. My security cameras caught them trespassing on my property again, this time leaving a mess of toilet paper and shaving cream all over my driveway. This was the final straw. I went to the police and provided the new footage, showing that they had ignored the warnings. This time, I filed for a restraining order. I had more than enough evidence to prove that their behavior was escalating, and after presenting everything, security footage, text messages, and police reports, the judge granted it. They were legally ordered to stay away from me, my home, and my workplace. At first, they acted like it was a joke, but when they realized that I wasn't playing their game anymore, the harassment finally stopped. The restraining order forced them to keep their distance, and for the first time in a long time, I felt safe. Some family members still don't understand why I had to take things this far, but I don't need their approval.
What are you talking about?
I did what I had to do to protect myself. My home is now a place of peace, not anxiety. My phone is quiet. My life is my own again. To anyone dealing with toxic family members who refuse to respect your boundaries, don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. You're not obligated to tolerate mistreatment just because it comes from family.
Yeah.
Your safety and well-being come first always. And if they call me a snitch for defending myself, so be it. I'd rather be a snitch than a doormat.
Yep.
That's crazy that
they kept like ignoring.
Yeah. Once law gets involved, just stop.
That's what I'm saying. Is nobody scared of jail? Is nobody scared of jail?
That's when they finally got scared.
I'm scared of the law. You think I ever want to be wrapped up in the United States judicial system?
I've seen Orange is the New Black.
How?
I would have to change a lot to survive.
Maddie, you would have to change a lot.
Things would have to be different.
I know I can't receive any gifts. I don't receive any gifts. I don't receive any niceness.
Yeah.
You give me ramen noodles, I know you expect 2 back. So I'm not giving. I don't want anything from you, except for maybe my toothbrush and stuff that comes with that. Unless this little area takes stuff from everybody, because I know it's different wherever you go.
I'm scared of jail.
Me too.
I'm a tough cookie, but there's just some things that my preference of lifestyle just does not go near.
Even though I think you could thrive in prison.
Oh, for sure.
I like people would like you in a way that you're like, they're like, SJ coming?
I think I could survive.
Yeah.
I can adapt to any sort. Do I want to?
Yeah,
No. No.
I think it would change you too, because you'd be like, I'd be forced to like get physical. You'd be forced to get physical. To prove your dominance, to become top dog.
Because I won't be at the bottom. I can tell you that right now.
Top dog level.
You're like, I'm gonna be middle or top.
Middle or top, baby. We not going anywhere below that.
Because I'm treating it like Love Island. I'm trying to couple up with the biggest man in there.
We're
days,
putting.
but I need to find my man to protect me because I'm not going to be able to do
This
it.
is ultimatum, like Big Brother style tactics that we have to deploy in this type of situation.
What's the long game?
Oh no.
Okay.
It's got to work out though. It's got to work out in my favor. That's all I know. If I got to cause a few fights, instigate a few things here, instigate a few
That's
things
a
here.
dangerous
Just be careful.
game.
Watch your back, Brandon.
Causing fights, if it gets back to them, they're like,
Have you not seen Traitors before? I know you've seen Traitors.
It gets back to them.
Have you watched enough episodes where sometimes it gets back to the people that started the rumor?
Yeah.
And then you're alone in the shower. You're taking a shower, and then all of a sudden, everyone quickly leaves. You're like,
Hey, where'd everybody
you turn
go?
your shower off, and you turn around, 5 dudes. We heard you was instigating. You don't want to be in that situation, Brandon.
So Tony's in confinement because of you.
Yeah.
Because of me?
Because of you.
Because of you. Nah, that wasn't me. They're like,
You got the wrong guy.
I like how when it comes to the visual of the podcast, the worst thing you could do be like, right before it's about to go down. Obviously, we don't want to see anymore, but it's about to go down.
Anyone saying you got the wrong guy, it's always them. No one's saying you got the wrong guy.
It's not me.
It's totally them.
It's
like,
not
you got
me.
the wrong guy. I'm like, it's the guy.
So you're exactly
You're actually the guy.
You're exactly who I'm
Innocent
looking
people
for.
don't say that.
And then I don't know. I feel like it.
You
And
just
then just that's why I turn on that, that personality trait, just that personable, like, oh no, I'm your guy.
I think they're
Yeah,
serious
the
in
thing
prison.
about prison is like, they don't have anything to lose. Like, it's bad.
Yeah.
That's what's scary. Is like they're like, hey, it's bad already. It's not going to get worse if I kill you right now. And I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I don't want to be with men who are like in that mindset. That's terrifying.
willing to risk it. Not really. They don't care.
There's nothing to risk. I'm already in the worst thing that could happen. I'm in prison right now. I'm like, yeah, that is bad.
Well, it's almost time, so I better head over to Sam's to see what he's making from Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for clean eating. Green Chef makes it easy to spend less time in the kitchen and more time enjoying summer. With their new Heat and Eat meals, enjoy a delicious, wholesome meal in just 3 minutes. With 80 plus dietitian approved weekly meal options, Green Chef makes it easy to find meals that fit your lifestyle. Pick from Mediterranean, gluten-free, plant-based, protein-heavy, gut and brain health, and calorie-smart choices too. The recipes change every week, and with week-to-week flexibility, you can adjust your plan to match your mood and your schedule. We use this, and you should too. This week in Sam's kitchen, he's making some beef enchiladas. Sam and his sister Eli are putting everything together right now. Oh, and it looks like it's ready, so I better make my way over there. Make this summer your healthiest yet with Green Chef. Head to greenchef.com/50CLP and use code 50CLP to get 50% off your first month and then 20% off for 2 months with free shipping. That's code 50CLP at greenchef.com/50CLP. Thanks to our listeners for supporting this podcast, and thanks to Green Chef for sponsoring this episode.
You said something earlier that OP was going to say to her family after all of this. What was it?
No, the training wheels. Oh my God, she had to set it up.
Yeah.
She had to set it up.
What was it?
Just play the line. It's your choice.
I can't.
Like this next story.
He just used you for a transition. So I just tried to set you up for one.
There anymore. He just pretended to drink it after
again.
Too. That's crazy.
He's just tried to crush your transition with his orange crush in his hand.
That's like up there with one of Maddie's worst ones. That was bad.
Because you trust Brandon, you don't trust me. I tried to set you up. You didn't even want to take it.
I didn't even want to take it because I was just gonna do my own thing, and then here comes Brandon.
Yeah,
Brando.
There was glee.
She said Brando. There was animosity in that.
I am hot.
Oh, that was bad. That was crazy.
She said 5-minute break. I gotta go smoke a cig.
That was actually wild.
I'm pissed.
It be your own people, man.
It really do. Like, damn it, I was trying to cook. God.
Okay. So this next story is from r/comfort level pod.
What?
Recommended by Sam.
We haven't had one of these in so long.
In a while.
Wow.
Am I the asshole for telling my husband that I don't need him?
No.
I mean, girl, if you don't need him, we don't need him.
Preach.
Pull your weight, buddy.
Pull your weight, dog.
Man up.
Hey.
Step up.
You.
I know the immediate response to this is, of course you are. So let me give you some context. I, 45 female, and my husband, 37 male, are both in our first and only marriage. Through all the years I've spent dating, I only had one monogamous relationship, and the thought of marriage and or kids was never an option I wanted. Even though I'm bisexual and I've dated a variety of people, I never met anyone that I felt like I wanted permanently in my life. Flash forward to me at 37 and I'm getting tired of the same rotation of people that I dated. So a friend recommended that I try online dating. His theory was that your brain and your heart can be improved with conditioning, so I needed to get out there and work that dating muscle. He convinced me that I wouldn't be ready to meet someone right for me unless I had my heart and mind in the right place to receive that kind of relationship. I'm always down for an experiment, so I get online and I scoped out what was available on the market. Turns out the man I ended up with was one of the first dates I went on, but it wasn't until we had been dating for about 3 months that the connection finally clicked. He made me laugh, and his embrace and his honesty felt just right, and I fell for him. Almost a year into the relationship, he was looking for a new place. I was already staying with him most nights, so we found ourselves in the conversation of, should we move in together? His position was that I was the only person he wanted to be with, but he knew I didn't want to get married. If he wanted to take the risk of moving in with somebody, then he wanted to be moving towards some level of commitment that was on the same scale as marriage. He wasn't saying that we had to get married, but he wanted to at least put the conversation on the table. My position was that I absolutely did not want to get married, and I wasn't even willing to consider it until we had lived together first. The stubborn side of me wanted to hold on to what I decided, but the heart of me wanted to soften and consider it for the sake of finding out what could be. So we moved in, and I started going to therapy. I'm not someone who's capable of lying, and I couldn't say I would consider marriage if that wasn't the truth. So I found a professional that I worked with weekly, and she helped to pull the answer out of me. I ended up proposing to him on Christmas, and we got married on our 2nd anniversary at the place where we had our first date. No regrets. We're two people who don't shy away from a deep conversation, and one day we were talking about the reach of feminism in the modern world. He was claiming that a man needs to feel needed by his partner, and a lot of the dialogue from modern feminists don't allow for that. Right or wrong, my response came out of my mouth before I could stop it, and I said, I don't need you, and I'm proud of that fact. Y'all, to this day, I still can't forget the hurt on his face when I said that. I tried to explain my position by taking it back to generations of women that came before us, and this is what I told him. There was a place and a time when women couldn't work. There was a place and a time when women couldn't get a credit card or a bank account in their name. There was a time and a place when being someone's Mrs. Surname was the only option. And both men and women have put in a great deal of time and effort to give women the ability to stand independently. Not just that, but I worked extremely hard in therapy to work through my personal demons and open up to being his wife. And I do it with a great deal of love and empathy and desire to be strong with and for him until the day I draw my last breath. Need is something that I find weak. I'm sorry, not sorry, but I'm Gen X and a latchkey kid, and I've spent my entire life taking care of myself. I'm strong and independent, and I will not apologize for how hard I've worked to get here. When I said I didn't need him, what I followed up with was to say that I want him, which to me is so much better than needing him. There's nothing that I can't pay someone to do if I'm not able to do it myself. So need is something that can be resolved in many ways. But I want him in my life so greatly, and I have bonded with him in ways that we can operate as one. I want him in my life more than I want air, and I would be only half of a person if something ever happened to him. At the end of the conversation, we decided to agree to disagree, but I could tell that we both still carry some level of disappointment from my response. My mind is constantly searching for some way that need could be better than want. Maybe then I could finally agree with him without feeling like it's lying. Am I the asshole? So who's going first, Sam or Sadia?
Sam.
Okay, I'm scared. I brought this story up because, well, the whole thing interested me. Her thought process and how she thinks was exactly how I thought in my, pretty much my whole early life, my whole thing. Growing up in our church, it was always talking about two whole people should join together to be in a relationship. It shouldn't be like two halves. You shouldn't need this other person to survive in the world. You should be able to be a whole person to join with the person and become better. You become greater than the sum of the parts. And I always thought that, and I'm like, I do think that's a good sentiment to think about, because I do think a lot of people are dependent on people in dangerous ways that can affect them later on, especially if it doesn't work out. And so in relationships, I would always express this. I'm like, I don't need you. But it's the statement. I think that statement doesn't need to be said.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the thing, because I think you can feel like, if we weren't to be together, I will survive. I think that's a sentiment that is true. Like, if it doesn't work out, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to live. I'm going to survive. I'll likely find other love. It'll be different, but I'll survive past you. You're not going to break me if we weren't together. I don't need you to an extent my life is dependent on it. But I also don't think you need to say that to a person. And that was something I had to learn, because I was like, I'm seeing the hurt on people's faces where I'm like, I don't need you. And I would say, I want you. That's good, right? Mm-hmm. It's just something about saying it, like voicing it, that I do think there's just some things that don't need to be said in relationships. Mm-hmm. And I totally resonated with everything she was saying about things that women have had to go through. Like, women, yes, like they were bound by their husband's name. They couldn't open up bank accounts without the man signing up for it. That's a huge thing, and I'm glad that you're finding in yourself, like, I am a strong, independent woman. I can do these things on my own. In a relationship, I still don't need to voice. I don't know. I think they're like two different things that can be separated. Because in a relationship, especially if I'm married, I'm like, to a certain extent, I do need you. Not in a way that I'll die without you, but I do need you. Yeah. I chose to be with you. I chose to spend my life with you. I need you. I want you. All of it. And that was my only thing, is maybe saying it, maybe voicing it is not the way, because technically in your mind, you're like, I am right, I'm not lying, but do I need to say that to my partner who I chose to marry and be with for the rest of my life? That was my thing. So this was a very interesting thing, because I'm like, I was her, and now I feel like I slightly think differently than that, even though I totally still agree with a lot of the things she's saying.
Yeah, I agree with that, because I was going to say also that this seems like a very logical versus emotional situation too, because everything she says logically is correct, but it's how it's said and what's being said that can still hurt somebody at the end of the day. So yes, everything you said it does make sense and it is truth, but emotionally you got to think about that impact too. How does that affect, like you said it and you saw the person react, and it's kind of one of those things though, like it's already said, it's already in the air, not much you can do with it, just kind of work through it. But I feel like the phrase need and want, if someone says I don't need you and then I want you, sometimes for some people it really could work. It really could be, oh, like for me, if that were to happen, I don't need you, I'd be like, oh, ow. But like, I get it. But then I want you. So, oh, okay. So you're making the active choice too.
Yeah.
That's what I would think. But not everybody thinks that way. And not everybody has been open to that mindset of understanding that a want is just as much as a powerful choice as a need. Because if you think about it in life, like people want stuff all the time and will ignore stuff that they need for the stuff that they want. So I don't know. It's delivery. It's a weird scenario.
Yeah.
Because it's such a straightforward phrase to say, but it still could hurt. And I think that's what OP just needs to, well, not even needs to.
Wants to.
Wants to. I think that's where the internal conflict is coming from, where it's you said something so truthful, so real, and he reacted to the realness in a different way than you thought should have been reacted to. It's just a communication thing at the end of the day. Just understanding that some hard truths are so deep in logic that if it hurts someone emotionally, you have to just account for that.
Y'all know me, I agree with everything that OP said. As a woman, I completely understand highly valuing your independence, being able to take care of yourself, being able to say, if I had to do this by myself, I could, because I'm the woman that can make it happen. If it needs to be done, then I'm gonna make it work, and I'm gonna make it happen. As a woman, there is so much value in that, because historically it has not always been like that. I agree. With everything that she said, I completely agree. I think that her boyfriend or her partner, when he was like, hey, there's
because he brought it up.
Yeah. As a man, there's something like in me that feels like I need to be needed. Now you're coming from the position of, OP's coming from the position of, you know, I want you. I love you as my partner. I value you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you, but I don't need you. I think she took that so literal in the fact that he's saying that he needs me to be absolutely dependent on him, or coming from the perspective of I need to be dependent, his dependent. He needs to take care of me so that I can survive, quote unquote. But I think that there was a way to meet him where he was and still say everything that you were trying to say. Yeah. So if I was in a situation where my partner told me, hey, like there's just something in me where I feel like I need to be needed. And just like you said, there are so many nuances in a relationship or events that happen in a relationship where it's like, yeah, I do need you. Like, maybe could I do it by myself? Yes, but I have you. So
right.
In a way, I need you. I think there is a way for her to say that without having to completely kind of kill what he wanted or what he needed to hear in that moment. So I think in this situation, I probably would have talked to him and say, you know what, like, there are things that we do in life that, you know, when you're there, I absolutely value. Like, if you weren't there, it would be so much harder.
It would be difficult.
It would be difficult. Like, because you are there, it helps me. It helps me out. I'm able to, I don't have to stress as much about something. You know, you just being there, it makes it easier for me to deal with life. And I think her saying that in a way meets him where he is of feeling like he needs to be needed.
I agree with that.
Her affirming his existence in the relationship.
Yeah, because I think that's probably what he was just asking for is more affirmations within the relationship. Yeah. Because, it's not like she ignored it, but it was one of those. Well, I don't know enough about the relationship for it to be like a fishing type of thing where it's like if you're like fishing for a compliment or fishing for affirmation and that phrase gets said and it's like, just meet them where they are. And I was going to say something else, but shoot. Oh, education. Just educating them. Educating your partner more on like in that moment. Meeting them where they are and educating them and bringing them up to speed to what you believe. Because like Sam was saying earlier, we come from the concept of believing you're supposed to be 100% a whole person before you get with another person. So when I heard the phrase, I don't need you, I didn't even interpret it as that. I was like, oh yeah, no one needs nobody. I'm 100% getting with another person that's 100%. That's what I believe. So in that moment to also kind of bring them up to speed to what you believe. So then that I don't need you doesn't hit so roughly because it's not meant to hit that bad because it's just a logic truth. I don't need you. I'm 100. You're 100. We're good together.
I think her delivery just needed some finesse.
Yeah, she did say that she just kind of said it before she really thought about the impact, I think. Which I can give her credit for or some grace for, because I agree with Sadia where it's like, initially you hearing that, you'd be like, well, I don't want to be dependent on anybody. But yeah, I agree with what you guys were saying. So.
Even though I think sometimes we should push it back on that we don't need anyone. Like people say that I'm an independent person. I don't need anyone. I'm just doing my life. I'm like, that's kind of what I think is wrong with the world now a little bit is people thinking I'm an island that literally there's nothing, I can survive completely on my own without interaction. Like, no, you do need relationships with other people. You do need friends. You do need like things to do with other people. Like it makes your life better.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you're truly independent, if you're truly on an island, you're self-sufficient, everything is on you, and now you have to deal with that all on your own, all by yourself. Any issue, because life is going to life all the time, you're dealing with that all on your own, and that's a tough place to be in.
So I do think community is important, but I wonder if you're taking you know how you said, I think it was you or maybe Brandon was saying you're taking the response in too literal. I feel like you're taking it the other way of too literal, of her being like, I'm independent, but then, you know, because like she can say that in a relationship and be like, I'm independent, I don't need you, but then it's like, I don't think that means that she's completely cutting off her community.
And I don't think it's even specific for her. I'm just talking about in the world, because I hear this a lot in the world of people like I don't need anyone. I'm like, you do.
Yeah.
You need interaction.
Yeah.
And I think that when people say that honestly might even be a trauma response, because I'm speaking for myself. Like, I'm the type of woman very, 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 very much independent. If I could carry the world on my back by myself, I literally would. But that comes from a perspective of me. Like, in my past relying on other people, counting on other people, trying to build that community, and then being let down so many times where you're just like, fuck, I'm doing myself. Because I know at least if I do it myself, it's going to get done.
Yeah.
So I think like when people say that, I think a lot of the time it's from being let down so many times in the past where you're just like,
I 1,000% agree with that, because I learned that because I was the same way for a long time. Of like, I don't need other people. I can do this on my own. Like, I'm going to be through life fine, because I watched my mom do the exact same thing. My mom was like, I'm not asking nobody for help. Y'all don't ask nobody for nothing. We're going to figure it out. We're going to get through these situations. And I watched her do that. I watched her carry the world on her shoulders. Yeah. And I'm like, that's what I'm emulating. That was my example. That's what I'm embodying. But it's so hard.
It's hard.
It is so hard to do, and it's going to get you eventually. Like, there's some people who are stronger than others, and it may take longer, but it gets to everybody eventually. You are going to crack under this immense pressure you're putting on yourself to hold the entire world on your shoulders. It's not sustainable.
I have a quarterly breakdown. Like clockwork.
Like clockwork.
Clockwork. Every quote. About that time.
Like, what's wrong? I'm just so irritated. Oh,
okay.
That's it.
Let's have a calendar. All right, we're right on schedule.
That pops over your phone. It's like breakdown.
Breakdown incoming.
Yeah.
Right. Let's block out the calendar for these next 2 days.
I was gonna say though, Sam, I also wonder, how do I say this actually? All right, help me. I guess back and forth. So you're saying that you don't like how the world nowadays is like, I don't need anybody, but it's almost like, at least for me, but you know, I would consider myself a fairly like healthy, like mental person. When I say I don't need anybody, friends and stuff still is in that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like friends, like if you say I don't need anybody, you still need like a job, so that's people that you're surrounding yourself. Like there's still people within your needs that you need to do it. Everyday life. I guess for me personally, I would just restrict that to specifically relationships
and also in the relationship, I'm independent enough where I have my own community, and I know I need to have my own community in that way. So it's like I'm accounting for them, but yeah, definitely mainly that's what I was looking at too, the perspective of the relationship. But I understand what you're saying now of like, when you really are on your own, just in general in life.
Well, it's like it's constantly brought up a lot, the male epidemic, the male loneliness epidemic. It's because a lot of times men are not realizing the importance of building and maintaining friendships, and they don't like realize the work it's done, something that your typical woman is doing like easier. Like they're doing things to maintain a friendship, to maintain relationships, because they might not even see it as important. It's just like something they're geared to do. Men are like, oh yeah, I'll talk to you once every 8 years. And you're like, and then they're like, why am I lonely? Because you're not doing anything to maintain and keep friendships or keep these relationships in your life that serve you so much. And they might feel like, well, I'm just like a rock. I can just do things on my own. I'm like, bro, like this is affecting your life in so many ways. Yeah. And there's way more men posting things now. I'm like, dang, man, my life's like, I don't have anything. Yeah. And they'll always likely attribute it to romantic. Like, I don't have a romantic relationship. And I'm like, I feel like I'm doing everything right. And I'm like, it's not just that, bro. Like, love's not going to solve. If you do find someone and you like then you're completely relying on this person for everything now.
Top comment, not the asshole. I can't be with men that need to be needed by me. No shade to those that do, nor those that like them either. I was simply raised like a boy, so as an adult woman, I dare to take up space just as much as a man would, unapologetically. That seems to really piss some of them off. Not my fault. My father raised me to need no one, let alone a man. It makes me damn near toxically independent. There isn't an avoidant attachment style. Dating is a choice, and I'm not dating someone who doesn't even like me. Am I addressing it? Yeah. Nobody's a fucking island, but this terminal need to be needed, nobody gets to be the hero every day. And I've never been a good little damsel in distress and waited for someone to do it, because I'll never be done. I slay my own dragons, damn it. I can slay my own dragons. I can be my own dreams. My knight in shining armor is me. So I'm gonna set me free.
I don't wanna be like Cinderella, sitting in the dark, cold, dusty cellar,
waiting for somebody to come and set me free.
Okay, so you know how we were talking about earlier, like, I might be going too literal on one side, OP might be going too literal on the other side. I feel like Top Comment is going too far, like, dangerously too far. I do think there's a middle ground. It doesn't have to be you expressing any need means that you're not independent. Mm-hmm. And I feel like, and they almost say they're like almost toxically so. I'm like, it can't be toxic.
Yeah.
Such independence that it doesn't even give a way for your relationship to grow or flourish. Who wants to be with someone who's like, all the time, I don't need you. Like, all the time being like that? I'm like,
yeah.
I just want a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to depend on me. Trust me, I saw Handmaid's Tale. I don't want it to be that. But I'm like, there's a little something. I want to be like, hey, it's good. I'm making your life a little bit better, right? That's nice. Both of us want to feel that.
Yeah, I was going to say, you should definitely be with somebody who adds to your life and doesn't make it harder. Mm-hmm. Am I the asshole for choosing to go to my grandfather's funeral over my unborn daughter's 20-week ultrasound?
Oh, dang.
I mean, can't you pay to get a private ultrasound? Can't you reschedule the appointment? I mean, we can't really reschedule Grandpappy's funeral.
Yeah, well, you could. He ain't going nowhere.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, I'm gonna read this, Sam, because
okay,
he'll be there the next day.
My wife, female 25, and I, male 26, are expecting a baby girl due in November. We're both so excited for it. I've been talking to her through my wife's belly, being excited, feeling kicks, all of the fun stuff. 3 weeks ago, we scheduled the 20-week ultrasound. It'll be closer to 22 weeks. Then, the last week and a half, my grandfather's health has been slowly diminishing. I had a talk with my father and family, and we were told that sometime within a week of his passing, we would have the funeral. This made my wife and I have to talk about the plan. I was asked to be a pallbearer at the funeral. She said she'd want to stay home with the dogs so we didn't have to board them and that I could go by myself to the 4 to 4.5 hour trip up north to my father's hometown. Unfortunately, my grandfather passed away last night / early this morning. I called my father to make sure he was okay, which he was holding on as much as one would when your father passes away. But I was told that the funeral would be held at 10 a.m. on Wednesday. This just so happens to be the exact same day that my wife has the ultrasound. My wife is now upset that I plan to go to my grandfather's funeral instead of going to the ultrasound appointment. I said, well, we could FaceTime, but it's grandfather. I know FaceTime isn't the same, but she said, yeah, but this is your daughter. Now she's mad and upset at me. I'm emotionally torn from this because I'm so excited to meet my new baby girl, but also really sad about my grandfather. I want to know if I'm the asshole here. My wife's feelings are always going to be valid, but I feel like mine aren't being considered in this situation. I don't know. I agree with what Sadia said in the beginning of, why can't you reschedule the ultrasound appointment? Mm-hmm. And then somebody over here on this side of the couch said something crazy about, well, the grandfather's not going anywhere, so why don't you go to the appointment?
I don't know. I didn't say that.
You didn't say that?
No.
He just acknowledged that
push the funeral.
Grandfather is
the funeral could be the next day.
Funeral can be pushed.
Yeah.
I could have swore you said he's not going anywhere.
He's not.
So you said that or no?
I did say that.
Okay.
But I didn't say he should go to the ultrasound.
So you don't want him to make either appointments?
I want him to go to both.
Okay.
I'm just saying a funeral could be done on different.
Maybe he could do a double feature.
4.5 hours though.
Yeah, long drive.
No, he can't do a double feature.
No.
I don't think he's the asshole for this.
No. A death, come on, man.
It's literally grieving your family member.
Yeah.
And I do like, because there's probably, I don't know the percentages. We just hear, because we're listening on Reddit, fathers who who are necessarily excited to be a part of every milestone. So it's good that he does want to be a part of it. But I do think if it comes down to it, there's likely going to be more ultrasounds. There's not going to be another funeral for your grandfather. So
right. I agree with that exactly. Yeah. And some people in the comments were like, I can kind of understand if wife is maybe just, you know, having all these hormones hit her, which is maybe why she's a little bit more upset about it.
Yeah.
But truthfully, I still think that there should be maybe a discussion about it being rescheduled or just videotaping it for him so he can see it later.
Yeah.
And yeah, because it truly is the funeral is a one-time thing. It's not just him that's going to the funeral. It's a ton of people trying to get their schedules together. They already set the date. Yeah. Let that be that. And then there's, you know, it's you and your wife for the other two people. So hopefully you guys can reschedule or she could FaceTime. It does suck that he can't be in two places at once, but it's just the one time. It wasn't planned. It's horrible incident that happened. So
I feel bad for him though. I can only imagine the emotional distress he's going through. Feels like he's in a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
The appointment could be rescheduled. The funeral can't. I've delivered 5 children. I was glad when my husband could be at the appointments, but often he couldn't be. It's not the end of the world. And then somebody else said, I don't understand why the answer isn't automatically to reschedule the appointment. There's a family member's funeral. Why isn't the wife's automatic reaction to immediately call the doctor's office and request it to be moved after she comforted her husband, of course? I get that OP's wife probably has a lot going on in terms of hormones, but getting upset at OP for going to his grandfather's funeral instead of this checkup seems really heartless to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Side note, question for the commenters.
Oh.
What was your favorite childhood game? For me, I'm saying, what time is it, Mr. Fox?
What the?
You've never played What Time Is It, Mr. Fox?
I've never even heard of that.
Have you played What Time Is It, Mr. Fox?
Nope.
Have you? So someone stands. It's like a chase game.
Oh,
chase tag game.
Okay.
Someone stands all the way at the end of the field. And they say, what time is it, Mr. Fox?
Oh, I feel like I've heard that.
And they'll say like 7. So you take 7 steps towards the person and be like, what time is it, Mr. Fox?
To Mr. Fox, you
think?
Okay.
And then as close as they want it, if he says either dinner, lunch, or noon, everybody just darts back and the fox just tries to get as many people as they can.
Seems like a very weird game.
It was fun. I was vibing. Or Sharks and Minnows.
Oh, so you're talking about like playground games?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was thinking Trouble.
Yeah.
Red Rover always been hard.
Red Rover.
Red Rover.
Yeah.
Because in school you could clothesline people and you couldn't get in trouble for it.
It was like, not fair.
We were like, kids were like, they were hurting.
The teacher's
hard.
like,
and the teacher's like, I don't know.
Just falling on the blacktop. Like, ow!
And the gym teacher's like, I guess, sorry.
Game is game.
Am I the asshole? I asked the neighbor to move their little farm stand because people are stealing from my garden.
Oh,
I would be so mad, dude. If I spend the summer growing my freaking produce and I have some mangy mutt, some kleptomaniacs stealing my freaking cucumbers off the vine, somebody's losing
where's the farm stand? Is there in your yard?
Or animals?
People.
Huh.
Before anyone says just build a fence, we can't afford it right now, and no HOA. My neighbor set up one of those pantries/farm stands where people can take items that they grew in their garden, pantry stuff, donated stuff, etc. In theory, it's a great idea, and especially in a time when life in America sucks ass. People are struggling to make ends meet, my family included. The problem, people started coming into my yard to pick things in my garden. I put up signs saying not to do it. I installed rabbit fence around the garden. I've angled a tarp so you can't see what's there from the road. People just hold their kids over the fence to pick tomatoes and beans or jump it. I ended up getting into an argument with a lady over it. I yelled, "Hey, stop! Those aren't for you to take." She told her kid to move faster and then tried to run away. I caught up to her and I asked her what the fuck her problem was.
Oh my God.
And she turned it into a, how dare I swear in front of her child, and why am I so angry? And am I really upset that about a couple of tomatoes? I said I'm upset that you're stealing from me. The next day, I approached my neighbor. I asked if maybe I could help them move it to the other side of the driveway so it's next to the other neighbor's house, the one that they don't have a garden in front of. They said at least not until the end of the season. I asked if they could make larger signs, talk to people, just do something. They said, can you really not afford to share? I said they're not taking my zucchini because they're starving. They're taking my tomatoes because they want them. They said that I'm going to have to learn to live with it for now, and we can talk about a solution together that will benefit the whole community after. I said I don't care about a solution that benefits the whole community. I care about a solution that stops people from stealing from me.
Right.
So last night it happened again. A man in his 50s. I sprayed his ass with a hose. He started yelling at me, and after a minute or so, the neighbor came out yelling at me too. People have posted on the neighborhood board to be careful if they come by because I'm an asshole. The neighbor says I'm scaring people away from a community resource. I told him that I'm going to continue until he does something about the fucking thieves who feel entitled to my garden. I feel like I'm losing my mind here. Am I the asshole for asking them to move it? Am I the asshole for being pissed off that people are fucking stealing from me? This is food for my family. And then there's updates.
Why do all neighborhoods like suck in these stories? Like neighborhood people. What do you... there's no fence, but it's like someone's house is right there. Mm-hmm. Maybe just don't go there if that wasn't your original destination.
Right.
And don't take stuff that's just growing. There's probably a reason that there's tomatoes in the middle of this field, and you think to yourself, I'm just going to take it. What? Common sense, people. I guess it's not common, but
yeah,
that's, yeah. Hey, do what you got to do.
It's frustrating that the neighbor isn't willing to be helpful either. Realizing that he's causing a problem instead of really helping the community.
Right.
He's causing hell for one neighbor who's like putting all this time and effort into taking care of a garden and tending to a garden, and people are stealing his harvest before he could even take it for his family.
Yeah.
Like, that's frustrating. But honestly, I think he came up with the best solution that he has right now, which is I'm going to spray you if I see you taking stuff. I'm going to spray your little 3-year-old in the face.
1,000%. Because why are you even on my property right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I would think my neighbor's really an asshole. I'm like, I gave you a solution. Let's move it to the other side. And you're like, no, let's wait till the end of the season. I'm like, well, why? Mm-hmm. Let's just do this now.
Yeah.
It'll solve my problem. Because if it's on, because I'm still trying to see what the setup of this is like. Like, what is it? Is the table right next to the garden? Like, is it?
It must be right next to it where people see, farm stand, and then there's a garden in the background. They're like, oh, this is it.
Yeah.
That's what I assume.
Yeah, so get this table away from there, man.
Yeah. First off, thanks for the responses. I got some good ones. I'm happy that so many of you live in places where the cops would do anything about this, but this isn't the reality that I'm living. Cops here would not give a shit if I sent them a video of someone picking from my garden. They would laugh in my face. Be thankful if you live in a place where the police are useful. It looks like signs are the best options for me now. Going to make signs indicating heavy use of pesticides and repeating that they're stealing food from the mouths of hungry children. I'll also scour Craigslist for free fencing or something similar. Hopefully this pans out. And top comment, not the asshole. They're literally volunteering your garden as the community veggie resource.
Yeah.
That's why it's next to your garden. It's incredibly inappropriate. And somebody else said, that's my thought too. They don't want to move it and aren't even entertaining ideas until after. Even then, it's about the community and not OP.
Right.
I'd have a surveyor out, and if the stand's even a little bit on OP's property, move it or tear it down myself.
Yeah, knock it down.
Mm-hmm. Screw the community.
Put a sign next to it too. The farm stand. The veggies are not for the farm stand, or like close enough to where it's like right in front of the vegetables. Yeah. So it's like the guy can't move and be like, well, it was impeding on my farm stand, because it's like, no, it's on my property. So
the veggies are mine.
That's good dancing, Sam. Why is the no neck is going crazy right now? Whoa,
that looked painful actually.
It did. Because his eyes were like looking around for like reassurance, almost like, is anybody else seeing this?
Watering good.
Oh, it felt good?
It felt good.
It didn't look like it felt good.
It felt really nice.
No, you know what feels really good?
Oh, that rhombus.
Get that rhombus.
We ain't get that rhombus in a while. Oh, it feel good.
All right, well, I think it's time to go, and we go talk to Patreon.
Yeah.
Specifically and alone, so we'll have to get out of here, guys.
Wish you could come.
We wish you could come.
Yeah.
Some of you probably could come, but
Actually, yeah, I think you could come.
you guys totally could come over. We got 2 stories for you today, Patreon.
There's just a cover at the door of Patreon.
There is a cover. There's a cover at the door.
Sam's the bouncer.
Yeah. I ain't letting nobody in.
Waiting.
All right.
Unless
bye,
you flash me a
guys.
smile.
Just hit the like and subscribe.
Like,
Just for that.
Subscribe.